with another episode of the Grunge Bible Podcast, episode 20. I am Ethan Chalet, joined as usual with the wonderful, super happy Chris Salona.
I'm in a great mood.
Chris, you've never been so happy as what I hear.
Yeah.
You look great.
I am really, my cup runneth over with joy today, and zest for life, zest for social media. Yeah, I'm in a great mood today. It's great. We're here. This is our 20th podcast episode, so that's worth celebrating.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool. I don't know what it means. I don't know if it's noteworthy. I don't know if it means anything.
Sure is.
But you know what? To us it is. So as far as I'm concerned, it has value. I didn't think we'd make it this far.
Pat ourselves on the back.
Yeah.
Good job by us.
We're doing the bare minimum out here. Congrats to us. Anyways,
yeah, we were talking right before the pod, and we both said that this week is like, it's like when you have a bender, you get hungover obviously on the day after the bender ends, and I feel like we just been like 3 weeks of activities, and then we're both back in the saddle, and like we're both a little bit gassed from everything, but in a good way. Like we just lived a good month of life.
Oh, totally. And to clarify, we were bending in the least destructive way possible.
Super busy, a lot of driving and travel, which you guys know this because you guys listen to our podcast. So
exactly, a lot of fellowship. It was great. Not last weekend, but the weekend before, we got together. This is the first kind of PostMortem from that. It was great to see you and hang out with you and your family, and I hadn't seen you in about a year in person, so that was a lot of fun. We got to record a live podcast along with your brother. That was pretty cool. Definitely a lot easier just kind of being in person doing that whole thing.
Oh my gosh, and having the setup was a lot easier. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, we just had technical difficulties for like 30 minutes, guys, but we tried our patience, and in fact it prevailed, so that's why we're recording still.
So
we didn't mail in this week at all.
No, we did. We wanted to. But yeah, man, it's just like what you said, just kind of getting back into the swing of things. And I know I've spoken about it on the show before, but I mean, in life, no matter what it is, whether it's, your job, whether you're training for something, whether it's family obligations, or whether it's an Instagram page, like your levels of desire and stick-to-itiveness kind of ebb and flow, and lately just kind of in that rut of getting back into things and just feeling a little burnt out from different things here and there. But the page, for me at least lately, has been a little hard to kind of come around to and run and administrate a little bit. But I don't know, it's you got to toe the line between fulfilling your obligations and also giving yourself time to rest. And I think it's a good reminder, at least for myself, just to kind of take some time and not take things too seriously. So I don't think, I mean, it's not like we're ever a bastion of serious discussion here, but I don't think we're going to be taking things too seriously today. We're gonna hit the mailbag a little bit. I'm excited for that. We have a couple of more somber things to talk about, but before we get into that, I would just like to go ahead and thank the 6 individuals that are at our top Patreon giving level, and they are Jade Mercado, Shannon Gorgone, Victor Schaefer, Sonny Mashburn, Release, and Alexis Shannon. So thank you to you 6, as always, for helping to sustain this podcast. This is, as we said, the 20th episode. A lot has happened in the 20 weeks, both with the page, but especially just in life. I mean, 20 weeks is a good hunk of time, man. We're growing, we're experiencing, we're doing things, and we're happy that we can share 30 minutes to an hour of each week with you guys, and we appreciate you guys sticking around with us.
Yep, every week we always kind of finish with this, but thank you guys who like to listen to us. It's pretty cool, so keep doing it, and we'll keep doing it. So
absolutely.
All right.
Let's get in the mailbag a little bit. Yeah.
So let's get into some content before we don't.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
There's no better time than now. So this is actually in the whole genre of grunge. I mean, it's not really it's not really alive anymore. I mean, let's be honest. Aside from Mudhoney, there's not a whole lot going on. I mean, you got the Melvins, you got you got Pearl Jam, you got Alice. But tomorrow on June 29th, Jerry Cantrell is apparently releasing a new song and a new accompanying music video from his solo record, and this song apparently is called Atone. So if you've been following along on his Instagram page, he's been teasing these kind of black and white desert shots with what I assume are lyrics from the album. We had a couple of questions in the mailbag about Jerry Cantrell and about his solo album. I'm pretty pumped for it, man. I have such a soft spot for Jerry, and my appreciation for him has only grown the more more time I've spent listening to the genre and just exposing myself to music. I mean, he's a special guy, and I'm really excited. I have some high expectations for this album. Do you have some thoughts about this Jerry Cantrell project that's coming our way?
How many songs is it? Did it say? Is it going to be?
I think tomorrow is just the first single.
The single, and then it's going to come out.
And then assuming sometime later this summer, early fall, we'll get the full album. It's called.
I'm definitely. It's called.
Atone. That sounds pretty heavy. I like that.
I did see the picture come across my feed of him standing with a pretty great back. It was just him in the middle of a. Yeah. I'm really excited. I really enjoyed. We were together obviously last week, and you were talking to Andy about, and you guys are both talking about your admiration for Jerry and his solo work, and kind of going through it. And like I know he adores him for his ability to play like the perfect guitar solos for. I like how he says that there's no wasted notes in Jerry's work. Yeah. And I feel like there's no wasted lyrics a lot of the time too. So
yeah, totally. And I think
it'll be interesting to see what kind of writing. Yeah. What kind of writing he has to offer.
It's always interesting, and I was talking about this with Andy. I think a lot of novice Alice in Chains fans don't really realize. I mean, Jerry wrote most of the lyrics for Alice in Chains, and he wrote, damn near all of the music. And I mean, Lane obviously is such an irreplaceable vocal talent and a writer in his own right. But I mean, Jerry was really the big cog in the machine wheel. So anytime we can get some stuff from him, it's been some time since his. I want to say it's been almost 20 years since his last solo album. I think Boggy Depot came out in like 2002 or something. So
now it's about 20 years ago, which is ridiculous.
Now he's 20 years older, 20 years wiser. So I'm pretty excited for that. I've been in the mood for. I'm always in the mood for like a heavy, deep and dark Enterprise. So Jerry, I don't think is going to disappoint.
No.
So it's kind of nice having some news about this shit. I feel like we never have anything actually current to discuss. So that's pretty exciting. Otherwise, we've had a few people message us about this over the last couple of days, and if I remember correctly, I believe yesterday, which would have been July 27th, there was a passage in the music world as a notable drummer. Joey Jordison of Slipknot passed away, and I know we've spoken on the show before. I don't really know much about Slipknot. I think you know a little bit more than I do, but let's just talk about Joey. And I watched some videos of him earlier today, and he was impressive. He was really impressive. That kind of music's not really my bag, but I mean, he was talented.
Yeah, Joey. So one of my first. I mean, I kind of grew up. Listening to some heavier stuff and playing drums because I was a drummer. And I remember my one friend loved Slipknot because they were like, I don't know. When people think of metal bands, they've got to be at the forefront.
Especially in the last 20 years.
Yeah, they had a really good run, and they were kind of after the 90s alternative and grunge scene. There was like the new metal scene and all that. And I don't know if people think that, I guess more Ozzy was the original, but Slipknot was huge and some really heavy stuff. And the one thing that I commented and I talked about is the way that Joey he drummed like incredibly fast. Obviously, he was like so had such an endurance, but he would also like headbang. And I feel like he was kind of the first guy. Like he would just headbang and play at such like incredible BPMs that it was just so effortless and really interesting to watch. And he did he would get like strapped into his drums and minded all or with a mask on like the whole time. And like,
people forget about that.
The one drum solo, he's like strapped in, like he has like It's like he's in a roller coaster.
Yeah.
He's got a face mask on. He
Like
has
keep
hair
all
down
hands
to
and
his,
feet inside the vehicle.
he has hair down to his, his chest, and they pick up the drum set, they flip it over, and he's just like, brrr, and he's just like, it's like he's barely even trying, and he's like literally upside. I don't know. It's just in the weirdest position and being locked down in this throne of a seat. Mm-hmm. He was he was with them for about 20 years. He was one of the founding members. And 46 years old. He's just
so young.
Such a really good talent. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think for me, not being a fan of that genre, it's such a good exercise. And I might not be a fan of the music, but you can appreciate the talent that is there. I mean, really across their lineup. I mean, they're all stellar musicians and vocalists and writers. And I mean, he was really, really incredible. And haven't really spent much time listening to him, as I said, but definitely taking some time to appreciate what was. And I mean, any time the world loses somebody at 46, I mean that's a tragedy, and it's really sad, for those who knew him and were impacted by him. And then additionally, just before we got on to do this podcast, I just got word that Dusty Hill, the bassist of ZZ Top, founding member of ZZ Top, passed away at age 72. And that's more of my speed. I'm a big into the blues kind of southern rock jam, hemisphere, I guess, so to speak. So I mean, ZZ Top, I mean, so many of my favorite bands, I mean, were influenced right from them. I mean, Blackberry Smoke, Government Mule, Allman Brothers, even still. I mean ZZ Top, I mean, they were at the cutting edge of that genre and that world. And another loss, at age 72. And
72.
I mean, those guys, ZZ Top, I mean, they were creating music for years and years, and they worked hard. They worked hard for many, many years, and we've got a lot of music to enjoy as a result of it. But it's always,
I did not know that.
I think they just announced. Yeah, it just happened, and I know even like. I think I've seen a few people talk about it, but you never forget like the first time you hear a song like LaGrange, and it's just like it's got that it's on so many of my playlists. I listen to it so many times, and it's just these guys had such great
it's a classic
gifts
for a reason.
Yeah, exactly, and we choose to remember these people for a reason, and it's always sad because that these people and their music and their art means and meant and will continue to mean a lot to a lot of people. So it's always important, I think, to take time to appreciate those contributions, and particularly when people pass away, to kind of pause and reflect a little bit. So I'm glad we're able to do that. And if Slipknot's your thing, if ZZ Top's your thing, definitely go ahead and go and listen to some and spin them and reflect a little bit. There's some great musicians in there. But shifting gears a little bit, if you'd like to, we can raise the mood a little bit. We have a really good question right here.
I'll say there's a great question that'll definitely take us. And then the question is simply, can you take me higher, Chris?
I would love. I don't want to take anyone higher. I need to go higher to a place with golden streets
where blind men see.
I'm in need of that. Do you know the story behind that song, Ethan?
I'm sure that you've told me this before, because you've told me way too many facts about Creed over the years.
The story behind that song apparently is Scott Stapp was having a recurring nightmare where he was being chased. He was being chased by this person, I guess, and the chase would always take him down this alley. So he'd turn down this alley and he'd get to the end, and it was kind of like a T intersection. So he could choose to go right or to go left. And every single time in the dream, he would turn right, and it would be a dead end, and he would be forced to face whoever it was that was chasing him. So apparently, to get over this recurring nightmare, Scott Stapp apparently learned how to lucid dream in order to go into this nightmare. And when he turned down that alley, instead of turning right at the T, he turned left and he escaped. And apparently that inspired him to write the song Higher. So it's so funny that this comes up, because I just told this to somebody over the weekend. I was having a conversation about dreams, and naturally I had to explain this to them. I don't think they were appreciative of it, but that's pretty fucking cool.
That's actually incredible. There was a point in my life where I was made aware of lucid dreaming, and I remember, like,
everybody's tried.
I had experienced that. Well, I remember I did for a while where you basically lay like you're in a coffin. You cross your arms, you cross your legs, and you like you bring down your heart rate to as slow as you can before you fall asleep.
Yeah.
And like it definitely works. And then like actually then I've done it. I've definitely done it a few times, and honestly, it's incredible when you can like be in a dream and kind of control what's going on. I wish that I had a reoccurring dream. I think I wish I had a reoccurring dream, even though it sounds scary to have the same dream every night.
Yeah.
Is that usually a bad? It's a bad thing,
I guess
right?
it depends on what the dream is. When I was younger, I had a recurring dream.
When I was sick, I had one as well. It was
really?
anytime I was sick, I had the same dream.
For me, it was probably from when I was like, I don't know, between the ages of 5 and 9. So it went on for a while. So in my old house that I grew up in, my bed was in the middle of the room. Anytime I fell asleep facing the one particular way, I would have this recurring dream. I would be in my basement with my brother, and then all of a sudden I'd turn away and turn back, and then my brother would be gone, and then I would turn back to the other side, and I would see this man coming at me, running at me with his hands out. And like, I'm kind of getting goosebumps right now because I can still see the guy's face. I haven't had the dream in like 12 years or whatever, but I can still see his face. He was wearing like a green sweater, and he had like a little beard. He was balding, and oh my God, yeah, it's freaky. I'm getting chills thinking about it. But maybe I'm gonna have to learn the lucid dream. If that one comes back, I can roundhouse the guy or something.
Beat the shit out of the green man.
Fuck you, green man.
Just absolutely starch him in the face.
Yeah, maybe that's what we can do. We can have a Grunge Bible workshop on lucid dreaming and get some sort of.
I bet you there's a specialist out there in our follow base. That
we have to make some contacts here.
It's always, I feel like reoccurring dreams are always scary ones. I mean, when I was younger, I don't
think you ever have I have a recurring dream that I discovered $1 million, or like I got to play with Pearl Jam or something. I mean, that'd be cool, but hasn't happened. I don't dream often anymore though, which is
really.
Yeah, not often. I kind of wish I did. Watch tonight. I'll have the recurring dream about the Green Man.
Hey, a dream's a dream, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Not reality.
There's no better relief than waking up from a nightmare.
Oh my God!
And being like, that wasn't real. Be like, thank the Lord.
Yeah, it's like because you just look around a little bit. You're like, are we okay? We're okay.
Like it was like, yeah, like I feel like it's probably not this, but I feel like I've had a dream where like I go bankrupt and like I lose like a very realistic nightmare.
Oh, totally.
Like, not something
very
like
rational.
Super like far. Yeah, really like. Really rational. I'm like, that actually might have happened, and I wake up and I'm like, wow. So anyway,
absolutely. Next question right here, and this is one that I was looking forward to answering. What is the best condiment to put on French fries? Somebody wants to know our opinion on that.
I like that. I'm a big spicy mayo guy.
Spicy mayo,
I like hot sauce a lot.
I don't think it belongs on French fries though.
Not by itself, but if you put like hot sauce and mayonnaise together, it makes like, a better version of ketchup.
Yeah, spicy mayo, honey mustard, any like Chipotle mayo for me, that's good. I mean, standard ketchup is okay. I mean, it's got to be Heinz in my opinion. I don't believe in Hunt's or any of that other bullshit.
What about mustard?
I like mustard. So
mustard on the ketchup, mustard on the fries.
No, I would never put it on French fries. I don't think. When I was younger, I used to apparently take a piece of bread and just spread mustard on it and eat it. And then it was super repulsive. And then I decided I hated mustard for several years, but I've come back to it. But yeah, I would say spicy mayo, anything in that realm, I'm a total sucker for. So. Yeah, that's I'm not surprised we're on the same page there. As long as nothing weird like I don't know, like honey or maple syrup, that would be kind of strange. But yeah, we're gonna lock in with that. Do you have one pulled up right here? Because I have one.
I will ask this question because I don't know this band and you might. And the guy's his profile picture is a Boston Bruin B. But is there any thoughts on this? Any thoughts on the Screamin' Cheetah Wheelies? Not really grunge, but my third favorite band. This is from
I've never heard of them before in my life, so I don't have any thoughts on them.
Screamin' Cheetah Wheelies.
Maybe if I'm feeling inspired later today or tomorrow, I will go and listen to the.
I almost just looked it up
and
just to make sure it wasn't like someone's
maybe we're getting
band
maybe we're getting punked. Or maybe it's maybe.
But they said not really grunge, but third favorite band. Yeah. So hopefully it's
I don't know if
hopefully we're not missing something completely.
Yeah, and if we are, who cares? Here's a question from we'll shout them out. There's a page. I don't know this. I can't remember this individual's name, but it's the page Grunge Maker, and they post a lot of Kurt Cobain, Nirvana related stuff, and they ask, how do you deal with the hateful comments / people on your page? Because I mean, there's a lot of assholes, and I know we've spoken about this before, but
yeah, we've talked about this.
It doesn't really bother me a whole lot because like at the end. Well, like I don't take it into my daily life, like I'll get fired up on the page and like I'll block somebody or just be like a head ass back to them. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I mean, somebody tells me that like I'm a douche canoe or something, which happened last week. Like I don't know, like if someone compliments me or if someone says bad things to me, like it doesn't pay my bills, it doesn't cook my dinner, like it's just it's on the internet. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't really put much stock into what people think or what people say.
No, we're pretty good at that. I mean,
yeah, I do enjoy the block button a lot if somebody's that bad. Sometimes, most of the time, I've gotten in the habit. I try to be in the habit at least of if somebody's being a jackass, I'll just block them and not even give them the satisfaction of a reply.
But yeah, I usually don't take the time to respond.
Sometimes if I'm
sometimes you do. I usually see who else is responding or not. Sometimes, honestly, one of my favorite things when I see stuff come up that I really don't like appreciate and no one's like seeing it, I'll just delete it. I just delete other people's comments and like. Yeah. I mean, if they go back and see that I delete, you don't get notified that your comment was deleted.
We are the judge, jury, and executioner of the page. So
I think that's my favorite. I'll just delete it. Like, keep that out of my face. You know what I mean?
you say you got it because everybody wants it. Here's a question. I can't remember. We've done 20 so far, 20 podcast episodes. So I don't remember what we've spoken about or not. Have we spoken about Greta Van Fleet on the podcast yet?
No,
I don't think we have. So we had a question about them influenced by Led Zeppelin or just taking credit for their style or a la selling out or whatever. And honestly, the purists can fuck off because Led Zeppelin themselves stole a bunch of shit from blues artists of the 40s, 50s, and 60s and didn't give them credit. So, and at this point, man, in conventional guitar rock and roll, I'm not talking about indie rock, like rock and roll, everything's already been done in a way, So we can create music in the vein of other people and not have it, be a middle finger to those people. I mean, they were inspired by them. Let the kids make music, for God's sake. I mean, I don't know. I like them. I mean, and not only that, like music doesn't have to like tear down your intellect and rebuild it. Like if it sounds good, sometimes that's fine. It doesn't have to be the most complex thing you've ever listened to or the most revolutionary thing. Like I think some people have way too high a standard sometimes. Just fucking listen, man.
Well, it is funny to me that like if your favorite band is Led Zeppelin and
what have you been doing the last 40 years? What have you been doing?
Just like that, they're not touring anymore. Like we were talking about cover bands last week. Like those guys must hate cover bands because they're just. So then it's like you have your favorite band, and you have a band that is doing a sound that is like a tribute or like a very similar sound.
Yeah,
you think that they would enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you think they would enjoy it. It's like 40 years. It's the only band that's doing stuff like it, and they're like, nah, like we don't want them to do that.
Well, not only that, they're insulted. Well,
then you're stuck with everything else that's in.
Right. Like, go listen to Led Zeppelin 4 for the fourth time in the last 3 weeks. Like there's no new Led Zeppelin coming out, so you might as well enjoy the people that are kind of recording and creating in that vein. I don't know, man. People love to
my friend Nick.
Yeah.
My friend Nick, he didn't really like him, and I was like, but and you like Led Zeppelin? And he's like, yeah. Well, if I wanted to listen to that sound, I'd listen to Led Zeppelin. He's like, but I'm into other stuff right now.
Well, I'm like, that's fair, I guess. I will say, I think it was. I think their first EP, like From the Fires or whatever, that came out, I think in 2017. I really liked that EP. I haven't absolutely loved everything that they've made since then, but I mean, they're talented and they're young and they're finding their way. Yeah. I mean, I think people expect too much. I mean, the same people that get pissed off about Greta Van Fleet sounding like Led Zeppelin are the same people that 5 years ago, before anyone knew who Greta Van Fleet were the same. They're the same people that were like, "Oh, nobody's making rock music anymore. What the hell?" So it's like they give you rock music, and it's like, well, not that rock music. That's too similar. Like, make up your mind. Make up your damn minds.
We'll post some Greta Van Fleet for everybody.
We have before.
We'll see. We'll combine the last two questions. We'll get the Greta Van Fleet decision by all the people in our comments, and then we'll just go ahead and just delete a bunch of them.
Absolutely.
Or I'll post. We could use. Yeah, we'll do like a. I'll put up a like this if you like Led Zeppelin better, or like this if you like Greta Van Fleet more.
It's gonna be
use this as a like button.
Here's a good question, Ethan. Who is your favorite celebrity?
I like this. Favorite celebrity in general, like what they do, like I like their lifestyle, or like how do we want to do this? Because there's different ways to, and like I just like what they do the most. Or I think that they're most, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most interesting.
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm inclined to not pick a musician.
Right. You know who's like one of my favorite, like I love the guys that do, like I love the celebrities that kind of go off the wall. Like I really I love like Shia LaBeouf. Like he does like things that, like the one time he went and watched like 24 hours of his own movies.
Yeah.
And like he was like crying in it, and like and then he did like the Hot Ones, and then he like did the whole like that screenplay reading last year, and he was high and stuff. Yeah. Just like random stuff. So I think Shia LaBeouf's great. I don't know.
I feel like Danny DeVito's got to be in the conversation.
Oh yeah. Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito is incredible. I'm a huge Always Sunny in Philadelphia fan. Totally. Danny DeVito is incredible.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good call.
Yeah,
who else?
I think he's definitely up there. There's a Formula One racer who goes by the name of Kimi Räikkönen. He's pretty incredible for the sole reason that he's been a very talented Formula One driver for 20 years, but like he could not give less of a fuck. So there have been times where like he's crashed his car like during the race, and then he's just like walked off and like gone over to his yacht, which he parked next to like the race track, and he just started drinking. He was like, "Fuck this, I'm done." Like
that's incredible.
I have a couple of friends.
You know who else
like,
is a good one?
Who's that?
John Daly.
John Daly. Oh yeah.
John Daly is the golfer. For any of you guys that don't watch.
Yeah, like golf, John Daly. John Daly is like the chaotic evil version of like a Guy Fieri almost. Like if Guy Fieri is like lawful good, John Daly is chaotic evil. Like as stereotypical as that is, like I'm big on the Guy train. I think he's cool as shit. So he might be up there. He might be up there with me.
I don't have these flames on my shirt for nothing.
But yeah, I don't think I could pick a musician just because I'm feeling so incredibly burnt out from music and associating with music. Like I haven't even listened to music really much in the last week or so. I've just been listening to podcasts and the like. So I'm staying away from music. If I had to pick, I don't know. I feel like as I just said that I'm going to name a musician now, I feel like it would be really cool to hang out with Jerry Cantrell for a day. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, Jerry, that would be really cool.
Let's see. Great. Yeah, let's see what else we have. I like picking the ones that have nothing to do with music, especially today. Oh, somebody says, not a question, just thank you. Well, you're welcome. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you guys for tolerating us and for choosing to devote attention to us. That's
you know what?
It's really sweet of you guys.
I like that.
I like that a lot.
I like that.
Yeah. Thank you. And you're welcome, I guess.
Oh, someone very interesting. Well, I did see this one earlier, and I think we've talked about it, but it says, do you guys like 9 Inch Nails? with this emoji and a squinty emoji. What do you think about 9 Inch Nails? Have you ever got into them?
What about 9 Inch Nails?
Yeah.
No, I've never gotten into them. I've never in my life have I sat down and intentionally listened to 9 Inch Nails. Didn't they originally wrote the song "Hurt" that Johnny Cash covered, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I know about 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to say that 9 Inch Nails is Michael Stipe, but I know he's REM, so
I'm blanking on the 9 Inch Nails singer's name.
That's not important. It's not very important. So I guess that answers it. I don't know anything about them.
What I like to say, I'm gonna Trent Reznor, that's his name. I knew that.
Oh, I do know that name.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
so,
I got you.
The biggest thing that I always 9 Inch Nails. You think of "Hurt," but everybody thinks of Johnny Cash's version. And the best way I can, and he was like, I looked up 9 Inch Nails in the first. Well, I guess it wasn't the cover, but Trent Reznor heard Johnny Cash's version of "Hurt" when it first came out. And I think I've told this before, but he listened to it and he's like, yeah, that used to be our song, but that's Johnny's now. That's Johnny Cash's song. He's
sweet.
like, that was incredible. Cool. And he's like, that song was like my favorite song for the longest time. Johnny Cash's version. Actually, I do like their version, but just the age.
Oh, it's so
like
different.
The aged voice of Cash singing that on his deathbed, basically. Like he recorded that. I'm pretty sure. Within a month of him,
it wasn't that close, but it was definitely a few years. He had gotten older. He died at 71, and he recorded that like deep into his late 60s, maybe even 70.
I thought it was closer, but maybe
no,
not.
I don't think so. But yeah, it's just like it's a haunting delivery right there, you know. And it's funny that you say that too, because Trent's not the first person to say that about a song that, he or the band wrote. I mean, even there's a few instances of the Beatles having written songs, and I know at least Joe Cocker, when he covered With a Little Help from My Friends, it was either Paul McCartney or George Harrison, I can't remember, and they said something of a similar effect of like, with Joe's delivery of that song, like he kind of takes ownership of that and he made it his own. And that's why I love covers, man. I mean, you can get a song like "Hurt." And I mean, 9 Inch Nails, like Trent, like didn't have the life depth at that point of the experience to make that type of delivery. So I think like no songs are sacred, in my opinion. No songs are off limits. I don't think it's ever insulting.
What is another song that was covered that you think of primarily before the original?
Think of the cover. I
have one that like it is this band's version.
Let's hear yours first.
It's got to be Atlantic City by the band.
Oh yeah, because Bruce Springsteen wrote that. Yeah,
it's original Bruce, and I was introduced as the Atlantic City and listened to it so much, and then I love Bruce's version too, but for some reason the band's version, and that's like one of their more popular obviously performances,
totally
performed songs.
Absolutely. I think one that I think of is Chris Cornell's cover of Nothing Compares to You, which was popularized by Prince, but I believe it was actually originally written by, I'm going to butcher this person's name, but Sinead O'Connor, the Irish singer. So they wrote it, and then Prince popularized it, and then Chris Cornell covered it, I think, in 2015. But, I mean, I think it's just because, Chris's version, I listened to it at a time where I really needed to listen to a song like that, and, it just kind of tethers to your memory that way.
I guess there's a bunch of Nirvana covers as well that you think of Nirvana first.
Oh, yeah. I mean, The Man Who Sold the World, for example. I remember David
Bowie
Bowie.
Song.
Dave, people would come up to David Bowie,
Bowie
like,
song.
wow, it's really cool that you covered Nirvana. And he was like, fuck off, kid, I wrote that.
Yeah,
David Bowie, he was, I mean, and there's so many other songs that have been covered by every single human being.
Yeah, we talk about it, and then there's just...
I mean, like anything by Bob Dylan has been covered by everybody. And I mean, the list goes on and on. So
nice.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Here's a good question. Well, actually, yeah, this one should have gone to the front because it's a question from one of our top tier Patreon supporters, and this is from Alexis Shannon. And Alexis wants to know: are you experienced, Jimi Hendrix? So she's Ethan. Are you experienced?
My experience, in quotes, Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, it says, "Are you experienced?" Jimmy.
Short answer is yes.
Yes.
I believe I am.
Yeah.
I believe I've gotten to that point. Are you as well?
I would say I am experienced in a few different ways, and there was a time. I think I can answer yes because I can think back to times in my life that I couldn't have confidently answered yes, but now
I want to at the same time I want to also answer no.
That's true. Yeah, you think you're experienced now? Wait, you just wait.
Yeah, I say I want to answer yes and no because there's a lot of people that are on a different spot in the journey and
totally
that I haven't experienced yet, and
yeah.
I will.
We have
experienced
right now, a great deal, but for now, I think
I'm a little bit of both.
I think I'm.
Are you the same?
Yeah, I'm fairly confident in saying that I'm experienced. I think we need to end with this question because it's a great bookend question. But the question reads, "What's the next move after the podcast?" I'm gonna go to sleep for
Control Alt
a while.
Like tonight?
I think in general.
Oh, yeah, in general. Well,
so does the end of the podcast coincide with the end of Grunge Bible, or does it end before, or does it end after? Like if you were a betting man, what would you bet? I think the podcast ends first.
Yeah, I would say I would assume that. Yeah, unless we got to get picked up. If we work on sponsors and we actually get people to come in, and which is your opportunity. If you guys want to sponsor this, that's totally we will keep doing this for a while. But if we get picked up, we'll continue doing. But if we don't get picked up, and a year comes along, maybe we're just like, you know what?
Yeah.
What are we doing? And so I would say that it probably ends, and then Grunge Bible continues.
You can only talk about Jar of Flies so much,
Yeah. And you guys understand that. I know that.
Yeah.
But that's why we're doing more of this. That's why we're doing more of personality stuff, which I hope you guys like.
Trying to engage with the people. But yeah, I think the next move after the podcast, I don't know, is not doing a podcast.
The problem is there's so many options. We've talked about this a lot.
I think the most realistic path is eventually we become burnt out from doing a podcast and we decide to take a couple of weeks off. Then we come back and then we do it and then we realize that we still don't like it. So then we decide to end it. But I'm still enjoying doing it. I think it's a lot of fun. It's
this will go for a while.
I'll tell you, if I wasn't doing it with you, I wouldn't be enjoying it. I just think like we're such good friends and like. That's what makes it genuinely fun for me, and I enjoy interacting with everybody. Through questions.
After doing two by yourself, if you were doing a solo pod, how long would you last?
I'd already be done. I couldn't do that.
It's like doing a school project every week.
Yeah, man, you can do it in a pinch, but you're alone, so it's like the sound of one hand clapping. Like you can't be funny, you can't be witty. I don't know if I'm witty anyways with another person, but it's just. You're talking to yourself, man. I already do that enough. But
I think there's like we talk about. Don't worry, Grunge Bible family.
We're not going anywhere.
Well, no matter what, me and Chris talk about this, and for some reason, the grunge world always provides. There's always something else that we can't predict, we can't see coming, and it's out there, and it's gonna come, and we're gonna be surprised, and we're going to be very thankful. It happens. It could come tomorrow. We've had numerous times where we're like, what's next? Like what after we hit 100K, we're like, what do we do now? And then all of a sudden, we started working with bands before. It's just always the next chapter. It always builds on each other. So, what happens when we get to 1 million, Chris? Are we going to get to 1 million followers?
I don't think we ever will, to be honest. I don't know if I want to get to 1 million. That's way too many people.
I don't think we're not gonna get there at the rate we are now. For the
math is not on our side.
Yeah, just for the sure fact that 1 million is a lot
to get
people,
to 1 million,
Chris.
we would need someone like Billie Eilish to be like, hey, everybody go follow Grunge Bible.
Yes, yeah. If something like that
that's
happens,
what it would take.
I mean, it's took what,
which is not out of the
5
realm of possibility. I mean, like Olivia
No.
Rodrigo follows us, so
John Mayer follows
John
us.
Mayer follows us, so like we do have friends in
Bill
higher
Burr.
places. William Burr follows us.
I mean, it took us 5 years to get 300, so you do the math.
I'm not sticking around for another 5 years. I don't think
that's just about 11 or 12 years to get there.
I think I retire from this when I turn 30, which is 5 years and change away for me. So
that's not that long.
I know, dude.
You're almost closer to 30 than you are 20.
I am holding on to 24 for dear life, man. I've got like 3 months left of it, or shit. No, I have
not even, dude.
I have like 2 months left. Fuck.
We have end of September.
God, dude.
Oh, by the way, this is a good time to mention
holidays.
A good time to mention it. Chris and I shared the same birthday,
so
September 28th.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So support us on Patreon. Do something, like send us like Cash App, or buy us a gift if you want. September 28th.
I'm really holding on, dude, because you know what I turned on the 28th?
You turned 27.
I joined. I don't join the 27 club, but I'm gonna be 27.
I will see to it that you do not join the 27 club, and I will not establish a 25 club. But yeah, dude, I don't want to be closer to 30 than 20, man. I'm not looking forward to that. And I'm sure there's somebody out there listening right now who's in their 40s or 50s, and they're like, "You guys think you're old now? Just wait," But
what I was thinking about earlier, Chris?
What's that?
I don't know if I was thinking about. I think I was thinking about birthdays. I was, I think I was working the toil, and I was like, how long can my body last? And I was doing the math of other people that've been doing it for years, and yada yada. And I was like, there's going to come to a point, like it will be when you've lived, when you live through your teenage life, you're ready for your 20s, and I feel like you're ready for the next step. Like at one point, like, and I've heard people like they're almost excited to be old and to be wise. Do you think that you're going to get to a point where you're like, kind of like, you're ready to enjoy being elderly almost? And then also this is people when they're really old, they like, this is kind of dark, but they've like are kind of over, they're just content, and they're just ready to, like, when their time is to come.
The people who are not afraid of death, and they talk very openly. Yeah.
Because I want to say I'm not afraid of death, but like I'm excited to live. Like I have a lot more to live. But at some point you're going to be like, wow, that was a great run.
Yeah, I think for me, my philosophy on the whole thing is, I think to live a full life, your life has to run out before your work does. And I think for me, that's something that I aspire to. And certainly I think, I'd love to get to a point in time where... So like not really retire in a sense? Like you're still moving? Not in terms of occupation, but just like, I think to have a full life, there's always got to be things that you're aspiring to do, or you're wanting to experience, and I don't, I really hope that when the time comes that I'm not, just taking up space in a nursing home or something. I'd rather, I mean, it's easy to say it now when I'm, I hopefully have a lot of life ahead of me, but it's easy to say it now, but I'd rather, I'd rather just, be busy the whole time. But I think there will come a point where, I don't know, it'll be weird. Do you think we'll just wake up one day and be like, I am now wise? Like you'll just blink your eye and you'll be 60 and you're just like, wow, I've experienced a lot. Because in a way, I feel like we already do have experiences that have given us wisdom. I think at our age you can have wisdom, but we're not wise yet.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't know.
I agree with that.
Yeah, because I like you. I'd like to think that I'm not afraid of death per se, but I guess I probably am, because there's still a lot of living that I want to do. So I'm not ready yet. Yeah,
exactly. I'm not ready yet.
It's a weird dichotomy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like once you feel like you've lived enough. Yeah, I'm not, but.
And who knows? It's like you don't know the day or the hour, man. And
you just don't know what it's like to be old.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you don't know either. But it's such a weird thing. Like that's just something that we gotta wait and see. We gotta wait till we're old. There's no way to replicate. It's just like when you're younger, you have no idea what it's gonna be like to drive a car.
And I think feeling old is a very subjective thing. I know people like whether it be a parent or an uncle or a, an older family friend who's like in their 50s or 60s and they tell you they feel like they're in their 30s. I'm very much a believer that if you keep going and you have things to live for and to do, like it does, keep you young in a way. But I don't know. It'll be interesting. I would love to, if the time comes, when we're in our 60s, if we bookmark this episode and come back and we decide if we were talking out of our asses in our mid 20s or not.
One last podcast.
Because we'll come back on after a 40-year hiatus and give the surviving bones of Grunge Bible one last shot in the arm. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's interesting to think about. I love thinking about this stuff because the speculation can go on forever because the only way to know is to experience it, and hopefully we're lucky enough to do it, and hopefully everyone listening to the show is lucky enough to do it. And
we could turn this into a philosophy podcast, but before we ramble too much, I think we just shut it down for the night.
Yeah, dude. This could turn into like a 4-hour gig, which I don't want to do because I'm tired.
Not tonight.
Shit.
Yeah, not tonight.
Not tonight.
We did a good thing. That was a solid pod. I just want to say thank you, Drew, for doing all of our editing.
The great Drew McFadden, our producer and engineer.
Yeah, giving us new themes, doing a great job with us, making us sound good. So thank you. And again, if you guys like us and you guys subscribe to our page, you might as well just go over to our our Spotify and subscribe there. And if you already subscribed there, just like it. You're already there.
Yeah, you're
just do it.
You're already there.
And if you're already doing all those steps, think about being a Patreon supporter. And if you're already a Patreon supporter, well, you're at the top, baby. You're the top cut.
There's nothing else we can ask of you.
There's nothing else to ask at that point.
That's really all there is to it. If you're listening to this, you're listening to us. I think there's ways, you can support us. So all those links are on grungebible.com, as you probably know by this point. And thanks for stopping by. Thanks in advance. We hope you guys are liking what we're doing. But before we go, we have one more order of business. Real quick, song of the week. I don't have a lot to say about my song. I just decided it was my song, 40 minutes ago before we started. But my song of the week is The House That Jack Built, performed by Aretha Franklin. Now, she didn't write it, but she has the greatest, in my opinion, delivery of that song. And I was, growing up, my mom still is really big into Motown and soul and everything like that. So huge Aretha Franklin fan. So I was exposed from a young age, and I just heard this song this afternoon, and not having a great day, but I listened to it and I was like, you know what, things are okay. Like I just had my car repaired on Monday, and like today it started making another noise. So it's like, fuck. How does the
car troubles happen?
Dude,
I don't know.
Darkness comes in waves, man. Just like what Eddie Vedder said. Yeah, man.
I was gonna say, I pulled up Spotify and I actually saw that, and I was gonna comment on it before the episode and be like, I see you're listening to some Aretha Franklin.
Yeah,
it was the most recent played,
Queen of Soul. Yeah, so I was. It was just one of those things, any port in a storm, and for me that was Aretha Franklin today. So I'll probably listen to it a little bit more before I go to bed. But what about you?
What's a good idea?
Yeah, it's not too bad. What's your song of the week, Ethan?
My song of the week is one of my go-to kind of happy songs, feel good. It's a really solid. Yeah,
could not be me.
The song is "Back Pocket" by Volpec. Do you know them?
I do not.
Wolfpack. Yeah, it's like super bright and super like, I don't have like woodwinds and stuff, and it's like really quick and catchy. Yeah, Back Pocket by Wolfpack. It's like they're kind of a jammy band.
Yep.
So yeah.
Sweet.
So check it out. I'll throw that up on the story. I'm trying to just do it each week, so it's out there. But
hell yeah.
Heard it here first. So that's all I got, guys. 20 episodes deep. Thank you, guys. Rock and roll, as usual. Right, Chris? Any last words?
No, that's it, man. Thanks for listening. Especially if you listen to all 20. You're a member of a very special club. We appreciate it. We hope you guys are having a good day. Wherever you may be, whatever day it may be that you're listening to this, I hope good things happen for you today. And we will talk with you all next week or whenever you decide to listen to the Grunge Bible Podcast again. It's the way it goes.
That's it, dude. I'm going to download a hoagie. I'm hungry.
Control Alt Delete, my friend. Well, Ethan, always a pleasure to sit down with you.
Absolutely.
I'll talk to you soon, and to all of the listeners, thanks again, and talk to you guys soon as well. Take care, everybody. Be well.